Last week on Unglossy.
There's proximity now for hip hop and
Mhm.
R&B to not just be. I mean, obviously, this gives them more visibility in the space, right? Being a part of this magazine because the rollout for this is going to be insane. Who gets the
Yeah.
first vibe covers? That's got to
Oh
be the
man,
biggest thing they're
I was
talking
thinking
about.
about.
I'm Tom Frank.
I'm Jeffrey Sledge.
And I'm Bud B. Welcome to Ungloss.
Real stories, unfiltered dialogue, and the voices moving culture
From the
beyond
top.
the gloss of hype and headlines.
So buckle up, Unglossy starts now.
Let's go ahead and get to it, guys. Are we ready?
We're ready to go. I hit record just in case.
No worries, no worries. Let's go ahead and jump into it, Thomas.
All
Let's
right.
get it started.
All right, fellas. Before algorithms told us what to like, DJs were the algorithm. The ones breaking records, shaping taste, deciding what the culture moved to next. Then Silicon Valley showed up and tried to automate the vibe. Today, we're talking about how that shift happened and what we lost when computers replaced curation. We're also diving into how Atlanta didn't just become the capital of hip hop, it was built that way. From radio to strip clubs, mixtape DJs to indie labels, the city engineered a system that turned local hits into global anthems. And there's nobody better to break that all down than Greg Street, legendary DJ, radio personality, and a man who's been at the center of it all. From breaking Outkast to helping define the sound of the South, Greg's lived the story from the booth to the boardroom. I'm Tom Frank. That's Jeffrey Sledge. This is Bun B. And welcome to our guest, Greg Street.
Thank you
Yes, sir.
for having me.
Thank you for coming on, Greg. It's an honor. You've done
I love it, man.
You've done so much
Me
in the game.
me and Jeff go back way before Atlanta.
Yeah. He was in Texas.
Way
Bouncing
before
back
Atlanta.
and forth and all that. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another
Yeah.
guy that can call you one of his long time friends.
Every friend of Jeffrey Sledge that I know is a long time friend. They're not people he met 2 years ago at
Yeah.
All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
He's been rocking for a while.
Wow.
Absolutely, man.
Hey, Thomas, I'm going to make this statement on the podcast. When Barry Wise, whatever he did with Jive, sold it, whatever he did with the company, and became the chairman and went on to Sony Music, Jeffrey Sledge should have walked away with at least $5-10 million because he was the man that made everything happen at Jive Records for a long time, for some years.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate that, man.
I'll make that a clip, Jeff.
He should have brought you with him as a partner, too.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Barry Wise, where the dollars
at? Greg, let's start with your early days, man, in Mississippi, man. How did you find hip-hop in Mississippi, and what drew you to it and made you want to be an active participant in the culture?
Well, like right at the beginning of the hip hop, I'm the baby of my family, like by a lot of years. I'm the one who, like people say, you weren't supposed to be here, you were an accident. So my oldest sisters, they love music, they bought albums. So I started DJing when I was like 16, 17 years old, 15, 16. And I bought a realistic mixer. I bought a turntable. One of my sisters had her and her husband had a stupid sound system. See, I think my nieces and nephews, most of them are all like only 6 years younger than me. So I'm talking about they had families. So I would use one of her turntables, use my turntable. And before I started DJing, when I was like 6, 7 years old, I took guitar lessons. So I had a PV212 classic guitar amp, and I used to connect my mixer to the guitar amp to DJ. And that's what I used for my first sound system to start DJing parties. And then after I started DJing parties, I came up with this idea to, instead of just being like the other DJs making flyers and making posters, I said, I want to go to the radio station, put my parties on the radio. So I started going to the radio station, and after a couple times at the radio station, being in Mississippi, most of those stations in small towns, AM stations are daytime.
Yeah.
So in the spring and summer months, they don't go off to like 8, 9 o'clock.
Right.
So and they don't have a big staff. So most of the people who work there, like whoever the program director is, they might do 2 shifts. So this guy was like, you get pretty popular. You ever considered doing radio? His name was Harvey Knight. So I said, yeah. So I started working on the weekends, doing a gospel show, doing a jazz show, doing an R&B show. And it just kind of went from there. And after I worked at that station for a while, come to find out the guy who owned the station, Vernon Floyd, who was like the first black man in history in like 1969 to build his own radio station from the foundation of the concrete all the way to the tower. And
Wow.
he went to school with my mom in Mobile, Alabama at Mobile County Training School. And after I worked at that station for a while, when I graduated from high school, I went to work for a white station called WHSY. Like a real white AC station, you know, the Eurythmics and the old Motown and the Bee Gees and those records. And it's kind of really just introduced me to a whole nother lane of radio, you know, reading the trade magazines and understanding what really makes radio. And that was really some of the chemistry that has granted me longevity, really understanding radio. Like a lot of people listen to the radio and they think it's just about new music and about the DJs. And music is not even what radio is about. And most people don't even realize that radio is not even really about music. It's about people, like you just said. It's the first social media. It's about the connection to the people. Because you got to think, you got radio stations now. If you remember a few years ago, there was a big surge where all the urban AC stations had high ratings.
Yes.
Like you remember when BLS in New York was killing everybody in the ratings? They weren't playing on new music. So, but a lot of people have a misconception that radio is about new music, and radio is not about new music. It's really about the connection with the people. But what happened is, in cities like New York, they started putting people on the radio who had names from the streets. Like OJ Whitlaw. OJ Whitlaw is the reason why Flex got on Hot 97. OJ was the one that told Steve Smith, you need to put him on the radio.
I didn't know that. I didn't know OJ did. I didn't know that. Okay.
OJ Whitlaw is responsible for that going down. But after I learned so much on the white side, how formatics work, like we would do stuff like my name on the radio on the white station was Keith Gregory, 7 to midnight on Total Radio, WHSY. So, but on the white station, it's like the Paul Harvey news feed will come down and you have to record it. You can't miss it. You got to be ready to record it on time and then play it back at the time it comes for the playback. In the top of the hour, we played a gold record coming up to the top of the hour. So the gold category was like 400 or 500 records deep because you got to time it to the clock because the news is going to hit at the 12 on the clock is set to where the clock is going to hit at 12 o'clock. That second hand is going to hit at the top of the hour and it's got to go into the news. So you have to back time. So you got 500 records. So at the end, you're looking at your last record, what time it's going to end. You got to look at what records you're going to need after that, before that last record, to time it perfect. So with 500 records, you can go back, you know, deep enough to, okay, this record's 3 minutes, this blah, 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 and find one that fits. So when you hit the top of the hour ID, bam, the news is going to come on. And if you listen to my show, I don't talk a lot and the music never stops. And that's the key because in nighttime radio, when hip hop first took off, consultants like Jerry Clifton and people really knew the game. They taught some of us these secrets from pop radio. And pop radio, if you pay attention to pop radio, the music never stops. You got some pop stations now, they don't even talk going into the commercial break. They may say a little something in between the songs, but when they go to commercials, the music just goes from the music straight to the commercial. They don't even talk.
So that was to be the best at your practice. What you're saying is you would time it so that it was like a perfect transition.
It has to be a perfect transition.
Yeah.
In order for the station to sound professional, it has to have a perfect transition. So learning all the stuff about timing, how things work, and then knowing the importance of being in the community is the gem. Because like you said, we are the first social media. You never went nowhere to go see the news anchor from TV. You never went nowhere to go see the person who did the traffic on TV, but you would go somewhere if a DJ was somewhere doing a live remote, or if they were doing a party, or they was doing something in the community.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of evolved to where TV people start trying to get involved in the community, especially since social media. Most of them got pages, they dancing on social media, they doing different things, they wearing different clothes to get looks and likes, but we are the first social media. We are the algorithm. And I try to tell people, like, when they look at my social media, I may not have 1 million followers, but I can't walk through the city and I don't see nobody every day, or somebody who's a part of We Need to Read, or the Boys to Men Street Academy, lock-ins, or the fishing day, or pep rallies, or coming to their businesses, or just meeting them in the streets, tailgates, just being out in the community. So like, if you really do this for real, you don't have to have 1 million followers to really understand the impact of what you bring to the table, because you see these people every day.
How old are you when you're learning all of this, Greg? Like, because you're talking about starting radio at like 16 years old.
I was like 19, 20. I got my first full-time job. I dropped out of college. I got my first full-time job. I was like 20 at 93 BLX in Mobile, Alabama. In Mobile, Alabama, it's like
BLX.
market size 88.
Yeah, BLX.
Um,
So how old are you when you started in Mississippi and you moved to Alabama? You have all this knowledge, and then was it 91? You end up in Houston?
90.
90.
1990, I went to Magic. So that was like the industry. Like I had the highest ratings in radio across the whole country at Mobile, Alabama. And that was when Tony Brown, who's our program director, went to Houston. They brought me with him. My name was Gregory KP. Monty Lane, rest in peace, was the guy who actually gave me the name Street. He wanted to call me MC Street, but I was like, Monty, I'm not a rapper, so I don't want to be an MC. So I just used Greg Street. My first contract still says MC Street. Bun B probably remember those days. But
Hey, Greg, I want to ask you a question. How do you feel like, because your career has always been in the South, whether it's Texas or Mississippi or Alabama? How do you feel that kind of shaped your vision of radio and stuff like that, as opposed to somebody in the Midwest or the West Coast or Northeast? What do you think is the difference?
Next time we talk about this, I'll pull some paperwork for you. Actually, if you know Mike Love tried to hire me at BLS.
Really?
Yeah, Mike Love wanted to hire me at WBLS in New York. But I was in Dallas at the time. And if you know anything about radio, Hyman Childs, who owns K104 in Dallas, was really the person who put black radio on the map when he gave Tom Joyner all that money. That was the first, that was the kickoff of it. And a lot of people don't know. You got to think before the internet. When I left Houston, my whole thing was, if I want to go to K104 in Dallas, I got to find out who Tom Joyner's agent is. Because when James Alexander went there, I sent him a FedEx package every day. He finally called me back after I sent like 6 or 7 packages. Man, I already got my lineup, blah, blah, blah. So I watched the stage for like 6, 7, 8 months, and the numbers went in the toilet. So I found a guy named Saul Foose. He was Tom Joyner's agent, a lawyer from Chicago. I wrote him a letter, sent it to him. He hit me back and said, well, he didn't say I really don't. He said, I don't represent night jocks because y'all don't make no money. But there's something about you. I think I'll do this. He called Hyman Childs. I flew into Dallas. The brothers, Bun B's gonna go crazy over this. The brothers that own Starter, the company was based in Mobile, Alabama. Because when I left Houston, I went back to Mobile for a few months. The company that owned Starter was based right outside of Pensacola, Florida. So I called K104, talked to the lady at the front desk. She's still the front desk receptionist to this day.
Wow.
Her name is Tony. Her name is Tony. Like that, because that's the kind of loyalty Hyman has to his people that work for him. So I called the radio station and said, listen, I'm a fan of the radio station. Can you send me a bumper sticker? So she sent me a bumper sticker. I went to the guys at Starter, got a Starter sweatshirt, and had them put the K104 logo on the sweatshirt. So when I flew to the interview, I get off the plane, I got the sweatshirt on. I'm like, hey, I'm ready to go to work, my boy.
Wow.
What we doing?
Greg, you are
amazing.
A very, very sharp man, bro.
I'm like, hey, man,
it all makes sense.
What we doing, my boy? so I'm gonna tell you. So they gave me $50,000. They gave me $50,000 a year when I went to Houston.
Which wasn't bad back then.
No, sir.
It was great. When it was in Mobile,
I was getting money in radio.
Yeah.
And when I was in Mobile,
in the 90s.
When I was in Mobile, I was getting 12. I did the midday mix on my equipment. I did the midday mix, the afternoon mix, and the mix on my show. And I did a 4-hour mix on Saturday that they played. And I did 6 to 10. And I had like 20-some and 30-some shares at night. 25, wow. 54, 18, 34, and teens. So
$12,000 a year.
And you had to use your own equipment.
So when I go to Houston, I got 19. I replaced Hurricane Dave. He was getting like 50.
Hurricane Dave.
So
they brought in better talent for the low.
They saved some money.
They got me for the low, but I didn't even look. I wasn't even tripping on the money. To me, a lot of people think I'm about money, but I'm not even really about money. Like when you look at a lot of stuff on my timeline, most of the stuff I'm out here doing, I'm not even getting paid for it. From clubs to appearances to all. Like I did a deal with a Chevrolet dealership. And the guy who I did it for is a friend of mine that I like a lot. And for the first 6 months, I ain't make $1. And I took them to the #1 SEA Black Widow Chevy dealership in the country. Well, no, they got a dealership in Texas and one in Rhode Island. And I was beating their numbers by 3 times.
Wow.
for free.
Wow.
So it's not really about. I knew going to Houston. I'm coming from Mobile, Alabama, market 88. I'm going to market size 7, but it might have been 12. I'm going major market. Like this is a blessing. I ain't tripping on the money because I know what I can do in the streets. So I was going to El Campo, Wharton, Texas City, Lamarck, all the way down to Freeport doing parties. I used to take ghetto boys to Wharton and Hempstead and all these different places. I found H Town. I found H Town at Fondry Great Skate in Missouri City. Got Luke to sign them. I changed their name to H-Town. No money, no finder's fee, never got a dime out the deal. It was just like, I know what I'm doing. I'm building, and it's not about the money. The money's gonna come. Because I'm making crazy money in the streets. That's where the street machine was born. I bought the first street machine, the Chevy Astro van, was bought from Bill Hurd Chevrolet in Missouri City in 1990. Because I didn't like going to the radio station to get a truck to go to my appearances because it was like, it's too much time. So that was really the birth of the truck. But Jeff Sledge to tell you, like, they would all send me boxes of CDs and Source. That's when Dave started Source. He would send me boxes of Source magazines. I would give them out in the community. I would send Source magazines to guys in jail who would call into the radio station. All types of stuff like that. And then going on to Dallas, man, that was me and Breed created. MC Breed actually first time being on the radio was in Houston on Magic 102. Darren Gates played me MC Breed, Ain't No Future in Your Front, at that restaurant over by Jamaica by the freeway, right by 67.
That's crazy. I know exactly. That was that Bennigan's or something?
Bennigan's. Yep, we was at Bennigan's. He played that song. I was like, bro, this shit is out of here. When I put this shit on the radio, it's going to be out of here. Because Leroy McMath and Swamp Dogg was from Ohio. Leroy was living in Atlanta. They didn't have a deal. Darren had the deal. And he was just my boy. I just played it. And the rest is history. But that's where it all started, at Magic 102.
Wow.
If you see Al Breed, if you see DJ Flash, if you see any of those guys, you see Leroy, they'll tell you. And that right after that blew up, Leroy's wife, Georgette, brought me Spice One. And Spice One started. One started. Yep. You remember, Jeff?
Chico, yeah. So you broke Spice One.
Yep. He made me an intro to the single, and it was it. That was it. But people don't know Leroy, who had Breed, and Georgette, who had Spice, was husband and wife.
I didn't know that myself.
Yep.
So now you in Dallas, you know what I'm saying? You're getting more money. You're leveraging that into more exposure, more connection with the community, which is bringing you even more money on the side. What did Atlanta do to pull you away from Dallas?
How'd you get away from Dallas?
Yeah, because you was the king. You was the king in Atlanta.
He was the king. I'm
in
Texas. I'm in Houston. I'm touring regularly in Dallas. I'm listening to the radio. You know what I'm saying? The 6 o'clock is not new. It just transferred. That's always been his thing. That's always been his thing.
From Mobile.
The kids calling in, that's always been his thing. How did Atlanta, because you had a good thing in Dallas.
Great.
How did Atlanta convince you to leave?
After my first book in Dallas, they tore my contract up and after the 50,000, they tore my contract and gave me a whole new deal. It was like like Easy Street. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all this story. Easy Street was on 100.3. Mary Catherine Sneed told me this out of her own mouth. She was the national PD for
Mary Catherine. I remember Mary Catherine. I remember her.
She named him Easy Street just in case I ever tried to go from Houston to Dallas. So when I got the job in Dallas in the meeting, James Alexander was like, well, what we going to call you? We can't call you Greg Street because we got East Street called Street. I said, listen, show me the out of bounds lines. Tell me what I can and can't do. And just give me the ball and don't worry about it. And Easy Street had crazy numbers. Easy Street had double-digit numbers in teens, 1834. He had crazy numbers. I beat him in one book. They told the contract up and say, hey, look, whatever you want, write it on this paper.
You can be called any street you want to be
called.
Call
yourself any street in the neighborhood.
How are you able to beat him in one book, Greg?
In one book.
How did you do this?
I went to Dallas and it was wintertime, like before Christmas. And after that winter book, when we got time for spring book, I had already beat him. And I started with like a 7 share. He had like a 20.
Wow.
You walked him down. Wow.
But what? We went straight to the Bomb Factory. We went straight to the venue that I brought in. Like I used to bring Common for college night, Scarface. I brought the whole Cold Chillin'. Fly Ty brought everybody down for me. Everybody.
Tyrone.
Cool.
That was the explosion of Deep Ellum. That bomb,
No,
them
no.
all them bomb factory shows
But
blew up Deep Ellum, which is right now the heart and soul of culture in Dallas for all people.
Dallas.
Yep.
The bomb factory was the main venue in the heart of it.
And I did the first shows there for black people. They never had no black shows. My boy
That's right.
James
It was a rock venue. It was a purely rock venue.
My boy James Williams came to me and said, "Street, I got a place we can do a college night. It's gonna be crazy." I started calling people. I brought who I'm trying to remember who I brought MC8. I brought I did Ice Cube, but Ice Cube I did him at the venue in North Dallas. Outkast was the big one. That's the big legendary show. I was playing Outkast in Dallas before they was playing Outkast in Atlanta. If you see that video that Big Gip be posting, like they be saying when Greg Street played, he was the first DJ to play Outkast, and we all quit our jobs. I used to talk to Mom Benjamin, Dre's mama, rest in peace, my Sharon Benjamin, and Mia Red and Ian Burke was actually managing Outkast at the time. I flew Outkast to Dallas out of my pocket on Mark Air. If you remember Mark Air, it was an airline that used to cut. It was a cargo airline, but they started flying people, but you would get on the plane, they'd be like, "Oh, y'all over here, y'all got to get on this side. You got a car in the bottom."
He strapped you in with the cargo.
I flew Outkast to Dallas on Mark Air. We did the legendary show.
Mark Air.
I picked them. I had a 93 Land Cruiser. The first year when the Land Cruiser came out with the bigger engine and the bigger tires.
Yeah.
I had the big face Pioneer radio. And Dre fell in love with the Land Cruiser. When he got his money from Outkast, he got his first money.
Yo, I saw him in a green Land Cruiser in Atlanta.
I saw him
with that Land Cruiser. I saw
he still got it.
You. Yeah,
he got that bread, so he still got his. He just park him in the backyard and go get something else.
Chris still got his first car.
You leave Dallas to go to Atlanta. You are the king of Dallas.
It was like, I'm gonna tell you another back up. Okay, when I went to Houston, I went with Tony Brown, who's the PD in Mobile. Tony only stayed in Houston for like 6 months because Monty Lane wanted Ron Atkins to be the PD.
Ron Atkins.
And the GM was David. He wanted Tony Brown to be the PD. So they hired both of them. That's kind of bad. They hired both of them to be like both PDs. And 6 months after we got there, Tony got the call that Mike Roberts wanted to step down from programming because he was programming and doing the morning show. Mike wanted to step down from programming just to do the morning show, so they hired Tony. So Tony wanted to bring me to Atlanta then when he left Houston, but Mike Roberts wanted Ryan Cameron, and Tony wanted me. And they weren't paying no money at the time anyway, so Ryan got the job because Ryan was like interning at the station at the time.
Okay.
This all sounds like David Letterman, Jay Leno, Johnny Carson shit.
Yeah,
to me.
exactly.
Like who gets? Well, this guy wants it, but now he's not there. But we want you because we don't want you to leave. Right.
So years go by. You got to think back then in 91, V had no competition. So V was Urban AC and everything. They wasn't playing no rap music because Mike didn't really like rap music. So when Mary Catherine and Alfred Liggins announced that they was bringing in Hot, that's when they called me. So they now you got competition. Now you gotta have some monies. So we did the deal. And I left. They didn't want me to leave. In fact, I never told nobody this. Hyman Childs told me 2 weeks before I left. He said, if you stay and don't leave, I'll give you $150,000 bonus if 100.3 Jam changes formats. He knew something that I didn't know. He was telling me something without
telling you it. Yeah.
Because before I even got in my house, I was still staying in the hotel. 100.3 switch formats, and like after about 4 or 5 weeks after I moved.
He already knew about the market share.
He was basically giving
and
you
everything, right?
Yeah.
He could already tell that where the audience was going.
Yeah, he was like, no, he just knew the market. He just knew what was going on in the marketplace, and
exactly.
Right, because fast forward and learning and getting all the information that I know now, I know these people be knowing things that be moving around and things that be going on with these major companies when they gonna switch formats or when they gonna shut this station down or this station for sale. But he told me it was either 100 or 150,000. He said if you don't leave and they switch formats, I'll give you this bonus. And I'm in the hotel room, right? I ain't even got my crib yet because I didn't never get an apartment. I bought a house, so I'm in the hotel room, about to start crying. Like Boy, I just missed out on this bread.
I'd be crying.
Man, I just missed
Oh
out on this
man.
bread.
So what was the I mean what was the reception when you came to Atlanta? Like you know new DJ in
Bro, let me
town.
tell you something. I'm
Yeah,
gonna tell you something. See,
tell me.
I understand this game. Like I told you, working with Pete Jarrett at WHSY. Pete Jarrett, the legendary rock and roll DJ from Philly, he was doing nights at the rock and roll station right across the hall from me when I was doing on the AM station doing 7 to midnight on the YAC station. So I'm learning so much about this game at an early age. So it's just processing and going fast. Like the whole idea for the van, that came from a guy at the station in Laurel. One of the DJs in Laurel had his own van. So that's why I got, you just take different pieces and different things you see people doing that's working that you can have impact with. Like my Street Machine was the first like rap van and hip hop. It just had my name on the side, but like that's where it all started. Like Steve Rifkin, we talking about in Dallas, Steve Rifkin bought the whole Wu-Tang Clan in Dallas. I had the whole Wu-Tang Clan back when they was first coming out, when they was in the van traveling around. They had their own mic pack with mics in it because, you go to the club, they don't have one mic. They had a mic pack. They would come in the club and plug up with all the mics in a rack mount. So all of them can have their microphones and have their sound right.
Yeah.
So like this, it's like God is so amazing if you really pay attention to like what be going on. Like I was just telling Bon B the other night at the listening part, like, bro, we are so blessed. Like
it's crazy. It's crazy to think from where we started, you know what I'm saying, to getting known in such small spaces, and then figuring out what works in that small space works in a medium space. Then you get in a medium space, you learn a little bit more about the industry. You meet different people. You go from the medium space to the large space. You know what I'm saying? But you've earned these spots, you've earned these positions, and it's a calculated effort. Right? Like you said, it was never about money. It was about figuring out exactly how to make yourself indispensable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
How
you
to make
got
yourself so important and so critical to the bottom line.
Yep.
Right? That becomes a whole thing.
You have to learn how to
And
increase your
Greg
value.
has navigated that expertly.
You have to learn how to increase your value. You have to learn how to over deliver. The key is understanding that everything is about one thing: people. Everything is about people. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what you're selling. I don't care what kind of service you have, what kind of business you have, even in your personal life. Everything is about how you treat people and how you navigate. And you can't do it out of expectations. You got to do it for real. Like it can't be everything calculated. If I do this for Bun B, he gonna give me a verse. If I do this for Jeff, he gonna get me a deal at Jive. Like Jeff has been a rep forever.
Yeah.
It's never been about no money at all. Never. Ever, never. And man, Mystical, I was the guy who told Jive Records that Beware was not the song. Here I Go was the record. The hit is on the B side. It's not Beware. It's Here I Go. If you remember this, Jeff, when y'all brought Mystical to Atlanta for Hot 107, was Hot 97.5 birthday bash. It was the first or second birthday bash. They booed Mystical off the stage. Steve Hegwood told Larry Kahn, I would never play another his song on my radio station.
Wow.
Yeah.
If I'm lying, I'm flying. But you got to think, what Steve wasn't thinking about, you got Mystical on the show with all these East Coast artists.
That's true.
So it's like, it's not going to work. You don't realize how big Mystical is in the Southwest. Mystical is huge. He's just not big in Atlanta because the foundation of Atlanta before Dungeon Family and it was just booty shake music and
that's true.
And you got to think
Eric bass music, booty shaking and bass music.
Eric Sherman and all those guys lived in Atlanta. Redman, those guys used to be here all the time.
Yeah,
so it was like Atlanta was more on the east. The warehouse and the clubs in Atlanta was more on the East Coast vibe.
Warehouse.
But I know how the South works, so I knew what was going to happen when I got here. I started going in the streets and bringing all those songs to the radio. Kilo, Raheem the Dream, Pastor Troy, all those records. Archie, We Ready. Start bringing that stuff to the radio station. It's like, and just to make a difference, because when you look at all the other cities, when you look at Houston is big underground, but when you look at like Miami and Detroit and Chicago and all these other cities, they got Shawty Lows, they got Rockos, they got Futures, they got Franchise Boyses, they got Travis Porters, they got all these type of artists too, but they don't get no exposure, so they don't never get to blow up. I knew what the city wanted, and I knew what the people wanted. And Tony and the programming department and the general manager, they trusted me to be able to do it and do it with integrity and not just be out here on the bullshit.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing about you, Greg, is that and we talked about it off air, but like, you always been so tapped into the community, man. Like I said, with the people thing, like with the high schools and all, even with you brought up Travis Porter, who I brought over to Drive, and I remember that whole circuit of those high school dances, those high school parties, and all those acts that came out of that, and it all came through you again because you're so tapped in to the community and the high schools and the football games and the basketball games. Like, to me, that's one of your geniuses, that you're always so tapped in to the whatever community that you're at. You know everything from the. You go ahead.
But if you go back to the beginning of my career, that's how it all started. Like when I was in Mississippi, I wasn't just in Hattiesburg. I was in Laurel. I was in Brookhaven. I was in Waynesboro. I was in Gulfport, Biloxi. I was in Wiggins. I was in Lumberton. I was in Purvis. I was everywhere. I was in Jackson. I DJed Kosciuszko high school prom back then. You know how far Kosciuszko is from Hattiesburg?
Yeah.
That's what Oprah Winfrey's from.
Oh,
the party was so lit. They tried to get me to come work at their radio station way back there. Like, bro, I'm not moving to no Kosciuszko. I don't care who from up here.
That's funny.
But this all lends itself to what we were talking about, Thomas, about the human aspiration of curation, like having done so many parties, having DJed on so many stations, having talked to on-air personalities and talked to PDs and talked to owners about these things where they could trust that Greg understood the best connection.
Yeah.
But now we live in a world where the human aspect of it is slowly being taken out of it. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like, because you guys are, as Thomas said, you guys are the original algorithm, right?
You know what, Bud? They can't take it from us. It appears that way to the dick riders, but to the real people, they can't take it from you because that genuine connection is priceless. Like, I'm gonna give you another big example. My 30th anniversary here in Atlanta, V103. I got my first one. I got proclamations from East Point. I got proclamations from Union City, Greg Street Day in Union City, Greg Street Day in East Point, Greg Street Day in Stockbridge, Greg Street Day in City of Stonecrest, like all the cities. So it's like Greg Street Day in the city of Atlanta, Greg Street Day in Fulton County. So what people don't understand is if you out here doing that work, like you got to think about this, the biggest and most influential people, most of them not even on Instagram. Think about that. If you prime example, I'm gonna give you a prime example. The guy Brett, who Rick Ross had to deal, Rick Ross and Jay-Z had to deal with for the champagne. Go see how many followers Brett got. Brett is a billionaire.
So do you think then that the power of kind of new music still is in your hands as a DJ and a radio programmer, or do you think it has shifted?
No, that's shifted. To a certain extent, but now they're starting to realize that the real money for music is putting your music on the radio, because the streaming money, the labels getting all the money on the back end.
Well, that's a good point.
That's the right reason why the streaming numbers are so low for payout, because the labels are getting a percentage of the market share that the artists don't even know nothing about.
I try to tell people this, Greg, I swear to God, I've been trying to explain to people this is why you have to own your music. This is why they want to buy everything, because the larger body of music that they own, the bigger share they get through all these streaming platforms. This is why artists don't get a lot of money, because the majority of artists don't own their music.
They don't own their own music.
You know, but I tell people, if you own your music, them numbers are different. Those numbers are different if you own your music.
From a streaming perspective, you're saying.
But the bad part about it is if you own your music and that's the only music you own, that means you don't have a catalog. So you're not going to have enough market share to really participate in that back end money, because whoever has the biggest market share gets the bigger percentage. So the deal is you got to go into these labels and make a deal with them to make them understand, like, I can bring you this much market share. That's why Epic gave Rocco so much money for Future, because Future was one of the biggest streaming artists. We're going to give you this 10, 15 million. We're going to give you the bag.
They're going to get that back easy.
Because they're going to get it back.
Easy.
So,
wait a minute. So back to the radio station, though, part of that. So you're saying that, like, at the end of the day, music needs to be on the radio.
Radio publishing pays way more than streaming.
But how do you deal with
this is very true.
How
And
do
they're
you
trying
deal
to
with the
convince us
listener,
that
though?
radio isn't important. So they're
I'm not
keeping
trying to
all the money.
convince you. I'm saying, though, that most listeners, do you think that most listeners now, though, are streaming music rather than listening to it on the radio?
Yeah, of course they are. But it doesn't matter. Hold on. We about to show y'all some magic on the podcast live.
It's
And he
cool,
does
though.
all this stuff seamlessly. Like I used to go and hang out with him at the radio station.
He just
We'd
go
be in a
back and
full
forth.
conversation, and he'd be like, "Hold on, but," and he'd say his things, and he'd run the commercials and do his live
Yep.
drops.
And
And
then go right back into the conversation, like it never stopped.
Monica Tours here tonight, and are coming back December 5th. What's up, Brandy? What's up, Monica? Mo from the South Side. It's about to be a movie tonight. Ray J may still be in town too. I saw him fishing with Boosie on Monday. So let's get to it. It's time for Brad Street to Rock. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock on a Friday. The weather is amazing. Nellie's birthday is tonight. Nellie, I'm turning up again tonight, Nellie.
Nellie's birthday parties are legendary now because he does Halloween birthday party. Does a Halloween birthday party every year.
Yeah, him and JD are like brothers, so I know JD gonna set it off.
It's crazy. They do it real big. They do it real. I don't normally go because I don't want to commit on the level that they commit. Because if you look at these celebrities, like I look at Lenny's party every year.
Lenny's party last night. Yeah, man.
And they went costume couture, which is crazy.
Yeah, they was on some fly shit. Yeah, man.
So for people who are not watching this and listening, we just went from our show to Greg's show, and now we're back.
So Greg is one of the hosts tonight for the Brandy and Monica tour. They're stopping in Atlanta tonight. They're performing at State Farm Arena. So Greg is actually live broadcasting his radio show tonight from State Farm Arena. So it's kind of a two-for. He gets to do his radio show, and he's promoting the concert, and he's giving Nelly shout-outs on the radio. You check all the boxes, OG. You check them all.
I'm going to Trap City.
Oh, man. Where do you find the time, Greg? Where do you find the time for all of this?
Hey, man, I got the same 24 hours everybody else got, man. You just got it.
And we'll be right back.
Welcome to Merrick Studios, where stories take the mic and culture comes alive.
We're not just a network, we're family, bringing you smart, soulful, unfiltered conversations.
And this season, we're bringing the heat with our biggest lineup yet. Whatever you're into, music, sports, business, we got you covered.
Merrick Studios, where the conversation starts and keeps going.
Check out our full lineup, including Unglossy with Bun B, Jeffrey Sledge, and myself, Tom Frank. Now streaming at wearemerrickstudios.com.
Master the art of lyricism with Pendulum Mink, the first school for rap. Learn elite techniques through immersive lessons, real-world exercises, and guidance from hip-hop icons. This is where MCs sharpen their skills and glow boldly on the mic. Ready to level up? Visit pendulummink.com and start your journey today.
And now, back to the show.
Hey, Greg, you still involved with, I know you still got the car show. I know you were also heavily involved with Harley Davidson. You still working with them as well?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
I got we're doing a grand opening for Lucky Peach Harley Davidson, not the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Wow. I told them I'm going to pop into the dealership because it's against the rules with Harley Davidson corporate. They can't do it. But I love the people there so much because they do so much for me. Like I got 4 bikes at the dealership sitting in the back. They don't charge me no storage fee.
Wow.
You know I got 1 car in storage. It's $400 a month. So I told my man, I said, listen, on y'all grand opening, I'm going to pop into the dealership. Somebody sitting at the table doing a deal. I'm going to give them $1,000 on their down payment out of my pocket. Like, well, Harley said we can't do that. This ain't got shit to do with Harley. I'm doing it. Just my appreciation to you guys for how y'all look out for me.
But see, Greg, like that little story right there you just told is exactly what I'm talking about, man. You just know how to touch the people and be part of the community. Like whoever wins that $1,000 is never going to forget that. Ever.
Never going to forget him.
Never forget Greg.
And those will be the people that'll be ready to fight somebody when they hear somebody saying something bad about you.
Nah, you better not. Yeah, man.
I'm gonna tell you how serious this is. This is a classic Dallas story. Cause y'all see me post this picture every now and then with me and Michael Jordan. If you pay close attention to that picture, if you really look close at that picture, and Bun B, because I took UGK in the same spot. That's the Lexington on Turtle Creek. Alvin, Scott, and Jane Price Club.
Oh, wow.
I had Sunday nights at the Lexington. So I had the door every Sunday. So I was the promoter, the DJ, the MC. I opened and closed. brought the records in, started at 9 o'clock. Because the beautiful thing about Dallas that I love, the club closed at 2. So you don't even need no opening DJ. I go in and DJ the whole night. So I think the Mavericks are playing the Chicago Bulls on that Monday. So I get a call on that Sunday. Hey man, we heard you got the biggest night in the city when it comes to the clubs. Jordan want to come through. Michael Jordan comes to the club. If you look close at that picture, he in the DJ booth. You can see the turntable. He's in the booth with me. I'm DJing. I just turn my back, but I'm DJing and hosting the party.
Wow.
Michael Jordan in the club.
Did you have Jordans on?
Of course.
Wait, let's get into that.
My Jordan days started in Mobile. People be talking about Michael Jordan this and Michael Jordan that and his stats and how great of a player he was, and we're not taking none of that from him. But I'm gonna tell y'all the gospel truth about them Air Jordans.
Okay.
Eric Wright, Eazy-E is the guy who put them Jordans on the map. He put them Jordan 3s on that Eazy-E radio cover, and they went crazy. When the people saw that jump man on that tongue, on that radio cover, and he had the little suit on too, boy, I might wear I still got my suit. I might wear it tonight to Nelly Furtado.
Wait, so let's get into that because people, I guess people know about your love of sneakers or sneaker culture.
Everybody knows this.
Let's talk about that. How that started, and tell us about that.
Yeah, we started rocking sneakers. If you remember, the first sneaker craze was Dr. J.
Yes.
Dr. J don't get his props for he like, and the crazy part about Dr. J was, if you remember back in the day, the Converse, those shoes wasn't sold in the mall. You had to go to the sporting goods stores to get those shoes. Even the regular Chuck Taylors, the cloth ones, you had to go to the sporting goods store to get those shoes. They wasn't in the mall. In the mall, Tom McCann had the NBAs that would look just like the All-Stars with all the colors going around the little round table. Right. I don't know why ain't nobody brought them NBAs back, but Dr. J was the man. But fast forward, in the 80s, when me and Skip Cheatham, when we was in Mobile, Skip liked the flights. He loved the flight shoes.
Okay.
I always liked the Jordans. So when them 3s came out, from the 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, every week, Dale, the white boy Dale, who was crazy big at Foot Locker, he was the manager of Foot Locker in Springdale Mall in Mobile, Alabama.
Okay.
When I moved to Atlanta, he was the manager at Foot Locker in South DeKalb Mall. South DeKalb Mall was the biggest producing Foot Locker in the country.
Really?
South DeKalb Mall, Foot Locker. My boy Dale was the manager at the Foot Locker in South DeKalb Mall, and that was the biggest grossing revenue store in the whole Foot Locker chain in the country.
I did not know that. I didn't.
D-boys in Atlanta was so serious about it. They would go to Foot Locker and buy a case of Air Force One. Let me get a case for my daughter. Let me get a case for me.
A case?
Wife, a case. Them white tees, a case. They were selling that shit by the cases.
Wow.
Not 2 or 3 pair, the cases.
Wow. So to this day, what's your favorite Jordans? The 3s, the 4s, the 5s?
3s.
3s, yeah. 3s is unbeatable.
The black 3s.
Yeah.
The white 3s cool too, but the black 3s.
The black cement joints,
The black 3s is the GOAT. The black 3s are the GOATs.
You still collect a lot now?
The 4, yeah. I just bought that the 30th anniversary. I posted the one pair that they gave me, but I just found somebody who had the whole pack that would sell it. So I just bought the Reebok 30th anniversary PlayStation pack. We got all 3 of the shoes in one box. It looked like a PlayStation box.
Yeah.
So how many pairs of shoes do you have in your collection?
Probably about 1,700, 1,800.
Ooh.
And I have a dude that sold me some shoes, showed me a few shoes out of his collection. And he insisted that I bought those. And I never really liked those. But I knew they were one of Bun B's favorite shoes. And we were the same size. So at his in-store, I gave them to him. Dead stock original with the original box. The first one of them.
Greg, let me ask a question. So where do you think Atlanta's going now, musically?
I mean, Atlanta's always going to be booming music.
Yeah.
What people don't understand about, there's really no Atlanta sound. People try to say it is, but when you really think about it, when you sit back and listen, it's not an Atlanta sound. You know what I'm saying? Lotto don't sound like Pluto. Pluto Lotto don't sound like YK Niece or Bree or Naya, and Future don't sound like JID. I'll tell about the original Bardo story, Bun B. When you came to Atlanta, I got Bardos out this collection. I knew Bun were the same size. And I knew Bardos were his favorite Jordans. They were the OG original ones.
The original Bordeaux.
There was
Because
nobody else.
every time they retro, something's a little off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let me tell you my craziest Greg Street story. Greg was like, "Hey man, send me your address. I want to send you something." Right? The man sent me UGK promo shirts that were at least 20 years old at the time. Not one, two. Two promo shirts that I don't know if I ever even fucking
We never
had.
saw him.
Riding Dirty shirt.
Brand new, crisp,
Riding
wrapped
Dirty.
in plastic.
Riding Dirty. From
Pristine.
Jive Records.
Yeah, I don't have none of that stuff, man.
See, here's the thing that people don't know. I've had the pleasure to actually be invited to Greg's house. Greg doesn't keep a lot of company at his house. I was invited over to Greg's house. Greg is not just a great sneaker collector. He's a great collector.
He got all of it.
He has all of the 90s radio promo when everybody was sending out something with an artist to get those things spun, whether it was a little doll or some lighters or whatever it was, a matchbook, whatever it was. Greg kept them all.
Most of them. One thing I hate I lost that I had, and I know exactly when I lost it, when I moved from Houston, when I moved from Mobile to Houston. I had the Jazz bike hat from when him and Jay-Z did Hawaiian Sophie. That was a cycle hat that they had.
It was like flip up, right?
Yep. I had one and I lost it.
Damn.
You lost it.
But I still got the Master P cassette with the phone message on it. The Biz Marquee toilet stool. Remember the toilet
I remember the water in, you ready
the toilet seat up and it skeet the water on you?
I remember that.
The Harley Hansen raincoat from Loud Records, the original Wu-Tang Dunks, the Def Jam S. Doc Carters. I'm about to do a book, all the No Limit t-shirts. Every project that Master P put out, he had a t-shirt. He would send me a box of the shirts. Every project. Snoop Dogg, Mean Green, Young Bleed, Silk the Shocker, C Murder, Mia X.
Shout out to Young Bleed too.
About it. Every record had a promo t-shirt. And he would send me a whole box of them.
Wow.
The Master P dolls, all that.
Yeah, I remember them dolls. I remember making say dolls. I remember those.
I posted mine yesterday for Throwback Thursday. Mine still talk. I got two, but one of them still talk.
Wow.
Greg, in this radio space, you seem almost singular. Is there anybody that you've met in radio that thought progressively like you did, that understood it was about the community and the youth and not about building, making sure you was cool with this rapper or that singer? Is there anybody that moves relatively similar to how you move in this game?
Probably Bebe. Who else? There's some guys like this locally in their communities. Brian Dawson was up in Raleigh, North Carolina. He got off the radio. He had some health issues and he just decided to get off the radio. But there are a few of us out here, maybe not as intense as I am because I don't have them other bad habits.
Right.
I'm the guy who never says no. I'm gonna figure out a way to make it work. If you need me to do something for you, like a guy hit me today from the real estate company. They doing a trick or treat today. And I just happened, one of my homegirls that do Primerica, she had me go to something they had at the shop one day at the real estate office. I just went by there because she asked me to go. I went by there and me and the guy just started kicking it.
Wow.
I think Bebe is a great example of somebody that built themselves up directly through the community. You know what I'm saying? Came from a small, basically replaced you, and that I ain't gonna say replaced, but filled the void that you left.
I was about to say, Bebe
filled it with a similar mentality.
Absolutely.
Well, he went there to do weekends first, and then it elevated to him getting the afternoon show.
Yeah, but I could see Bebe is taking a lot of inspiration from you. I can see it. Like I could see. I mean, he's his own man. He's great, but I can see like he's taking a lot of lessons from watching you do your thing. I can see that.
Bebe is his own person. He's a personality for sure. He's a great personality, but it's been very strategic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. That would make a lot of sense watching you. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely.
So what's next, Greg? What's next for you?
Hey, Brandon Monitors, breast cancer awareness. I'm doing free breast cancer checks. They got a few more hours. You know what I'm saying? This year we call it playing chess. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I like that.
After the day, I'm going on vacation for a week. I ain't had a vacation this year. I'm going to take
Beautiful.
a week off. Then I get another week in December, maybe another 2 weeks in December because I still got 4 weeks. So hold on 1 second.
Okay. One more drop.
Because while he's talking to us, he's aware of what he's got to do there.
Yep.
But even while he's doing what he's doing there, there's an awareness.
Exactly.
That there's a whole other show going on.
It's not like we frozen out. We're like watching a show.
335. 340 is your next chance to get that $103 in gas or groceries and qualify for the $5,000 on your gas or groceries. The grand prize winner is this Monday.
I could use $5,000 a grand in gas and groceries for this holiday for sure.
For sure.
Don't have with these food stamps, but we got you. You don't know what's going on. I'm gonna give you my whole overview with the whole food stamp issue. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen with this.
It's incredible that he does this with no script.
Here it is. What's gonna happen with these food stamps is a lot of people are gonna finally realize that a lot of this stuff that they're eating, they don't need to be eating anyway. They don't need to be eating anyway. All that red meat, all that extra stuff, all that sugar. I'll get me a can of black beans, some Dave's Killer Bread.
You know what I'm saying? He's clean. That's why I say he's been able to maneuver a lot further in this culture than most people because he's a super clean guy.
Yeah.
So he remembers that he's one of those guys that remembers everybody he met, remembers names, all of that type of stuff. And that stuff gets you very far.
It definitely does.
Like he's built a skill set that primarily worked for what he's doing as a living, but the way he moves and operates and thinks, I think a lot of people could learn a lot from Greg Street. I don't think people give someone that works in radio the idea of being as smart and culturally conscious at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And to know his value and to be in that room of all these popular people who everybody wants to be in favor with, who everybody wants to be connected to, right? And he's just like, yeah, but I need to stay focused on this. But then because he stays focused on the community, the artist that everyone wants to be cool with, they reach out to Greg because Greg is touching the people. So it's like, the money comes back anyway.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
There's not a lot of Greg Streets though anymore.
No,
you think there's less and less? And again, this gets us back to the original thought here is it's just different. The radio business is very different today. He somehow has still made it work and has come up in it and I just don't know if there are other people like Greg Street anymore or not as many of them.
I don't know if the way radio operates today lends itself to the creation of another Greg Street.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear that. Greg, I'm
Yes, sir.
right back on time. The climate in radio and the way that radio is structured right now, does it allow an entry space for the next Greg Streets to come in and operate? Like, is there room for a young DJ that thinks like you to be successful in that climate right now?
In radio.
Where it's all built around playlists and all that type of stuff? Because you still seem to operate and excel and exceed in the space in spite of it, right?
Well, what it is, what you have to understand is less is more. So the least amount of freedom that you have and nobody else has any freedom, it increases your value even more. Because first of all, for me, I'm never playing a record because somebody want me to play the record. I'm going to play the record because I know the people want to hear the record. Because what people don't understand is one DJ can't really play a record enough times to break a record. You know what I'm saying? If the DJs were really breaking records the way people use that phrase, we'd be quadruple millionaires.
Yeah.
If you could just bring me a record that I could break your record, what is that actually worth?
Yeah.
But people, our mindset is so caught up. It's like if you took a gallon of gas and poured it on something, and you ain't got no fire to put on it, it ain't gonna spark. So you got to put the gas on something that has something going on with it that's gonna explode. It's not just the DJ. So I can go find a record from TikTok. My intro to my show at 3:00 now is the Miles Yachts When I Walk Through. Greg Street. When I walk, that was the biggest song on TikTok 2 years ago. I knew it. I hit him up. Hey man, call me up. Come to find out he was right in Atlanta. I'm like, look, this is what I want to do. Meet me at Stank on here. We gonna put it together. Put it together. Boom. No other radio station in the country playing this song. But if he would have had a label to get behind this record and put this record out, if you go on TikTok or Instagram right now and put in walkthrough and look at how many streams, how much money he'd have made off that record. But if that record would have went to radio and went top 10,
and it never did, you're saying?
It never did. Because most of these young guys are caught up into this whole Jay-Z mentality that they done put out here, that I want to own my masters. I want to own all my publishing. It ain't worth shit if you ain't got the money to invest
you
in
own 100% of nothing.
You got 100% of nothing. But if I say, hey, Barry Wise, hey, Jimmy Iovine, hey, L.A. Reid, hey, whoever, Mike Karen, whoever, hey, I got this record. My shit jumping. I understand the game on how the streaming work and how the radio work. Let's do a deal. I'll give you a percentage of the publishing. I'll give you a percentage of the ownership of the master. So you can eat and I can eat because you're going to spend the bag on the record. I don't have the bag. But we think that it's a trick. So what's going on now is labels are signing some of these streaming records, but they're not investing no money in it. They're just making their little money that they're going to make from the streams.
Keeping them
let it go because they know these people, their mind ain't right. They know they don't understand the business. You want to beat the music business, but you don't understand the business. You got to understand this game to the fullest if you're going to be able to maximize. Like I learned this whole game about radio, cost per point, shares, how Cume works, how time spent listening works. You have to learn everything it is that you do about your business to really maximize the business, because the people that you're dealing with on the other side of the table, they know the business.
They know it.
But if they know you're an idiot, they're not going to even try to
take advantage of
present it to you because you think they're trying to get over on you. They're not trying to get over on you. They're trying to do a fair deal. If you go to any major label, all these people in this building, where you think their money comes? You think this is a nonprofit organization? It's 200-300 people working in here. You know what I'm saying? You can't hear me?
Bun, we can't hear you, Bun.
We can't hear you, Bun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was saying it only take about 5 questions to figure out you don't know nothing.
Exactly.
Right?
I'm
answers to those 5 questions determine everything you get out of that situation from that point on. They already know that, okay, he don't know nothing. He don't.
I'm gonna give you a gem that you probably never heard. Me and DJ Clark Kent, rest in peace, my brother, we used to talk about this all the time. Less than 4% of artists that are signed to major labels before social media. Less than 4% of the art. Jeff, you probably never thought about this, and you was at Jive. You saw it. Less than 4% of the artists that y'all signed made it. They got a check. They got a budget. They made some records. They got
made a little bread. They got a little bread. I won't say made. They got a little bread.
Got a little bread. But all them other artists that's making the money, Tribe Called Quest and Too Short and Sierra and all them, they paying. That's why they're
paying for everything.
So low.
They're paying for everybody.
It's a portfolio. This stock gonna hit. This stock gonna hit. This stock gonna hit. This stock gonna fail. These other 80% of the stocks gonna fail. So I got to make all my money. Everybody working this building getting paid off the ones that's winning.
Off that 4%.
Calculated losses.
That's real though.
Most people don't understand the game. And they don't try to explain it to them because they're not gonna really understand. That's why they came up with the point system. They don't come in and tell you, wait, we're gonna give you a 10-point deal. They don't come and say we're gonna give you 10%. That's really what it is. The point system make it sound better to an idiot.
I got 12 points.
But they don't realize if you get 20, if you get 20 points on the deal, right? If you get 20 points on the deal, you really 50-50 partner if they paying the bills.
That's real.
I was talking to Fly from TIG the other day. I told Rocco and a bunch of other independent label artist guys this. Listen, bro, when you sign an artist and you making all that bread after the first couple projects, give them half of that shit back and extend your contract. Because once they get some money, they're going to try you. Because in their mind now, I did this on my own.
Yeah.
They're going to try you.
Yeah.
I witnessed it firsthand when I watched the shit go down between Leroy, Swamp Dogg, John Abbey, and MC Breed. John Abbey basically took MC Breed from them because they was fighting. Y'all fighting, all this money can be made, but while y'all fighting at the label itch bump, we don't have time for this. So they just start dealing directly with Breed.
Directly.
But if you say, look, okay, Breed, this is what we're going to do. Just say we got 40%. We're going to give you 20% back. You can get your mama 10, your baby mama 10. Whoever you want to manage your 10. We're going to get, now all I got to do is just walk to the mailbox in my furry house shoes and get my check. Cause now you done met Jazzy Faye, you done met DOC, you done met Tupac. Y'all doing all the work now. I don't have to do no work.
Yeah.
Just send me my cut.
You set them up. You set them up. Yeah, now you good. Yeah,
But
Putting them in power, putting them in position.
we so greedy, and we don't understand that a small percentage of something big is bigger than a big percentage of something small.
That's real. That's real, Greg. Me and Tom actually had that conversation earlier today.
Yeah,
we had and you're 100% correct. You said you'd rather be an okay fish in a big pond and make some money. We want to be a big fish in a small pond, and you ain't really nothing there for you to eat.
because in a lot of ways, you're validating exactly what we're doing with podcasting, because it's not that far off from the music industry.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's you making percentage of the money from your streams.
yeah.
And if you're smart, you get your podcast popping. You know what your people want. You sell the product. We got coffee cups. We got pens. We got whatever you like. We got Stanley cups. We got T-shirts. We got hoodies. Whatever it is you like. You know, from our popular, from what we doing, because we so tied into the culture, what we like to do. Okay, Supreme, Bombi, let's do a collab with the podcast. Okay, Undefeated. Okay, whoever, let's do it. Like the shit is so easy.
Yeah.
Like we make it hard.
We might have to get you on a network with a podcast, Greg.
You got to write a book or something, Greg. You got a lot of information.
You said you were in the midst of writing a book, right?
Yeah, I actually did a kids book some years ago. I ain't put it out yet. I did a kids book like in 2020 and 2005. I met this homeless guy, Brother Hashim. Brother Hashim introduced me to this homeless guy, bun, in the West End. That was an artist. There was an artist named Carter J. Dude was crazy. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna make a kids book. So he did all the illustrations, and he took them to the library and had them digitized, and that's the book. He I paid him, got him a cell phone because he had no cell phone, so we could communicate, and I created this book. But it got kind of discouraging because somebody tried to do some slick. I ain't gonna really talk about it, but somebody tried to do something slick, and I never did put it out. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it out pretty soon.
Good.
Let me see if I can find this shit. That's actually the book. I got them printed.
It's ready to go.
I got them printed and everything.
It's ready to go.
So you got the book. You just never put it out yet.
The whole idea was to get like with Walmart or somebody and have a section. So it'd be like Lil Bun, I love to read. Jeff Sledge, I love to read. Thomas Frank, I love to read. So when you walk into the section, you got Barack Obama, Monica, Brandy, T.I., Jeezy, whoever, and you can get their books. And I'll pull up a page so you can see the illustration. Hold on one second.
Wow. That's a good idea.
The dude's he's full of good ideas.
That's such a good ass idea, because you can say you walk in and say, "Oh, this is the books that Michelle Obama loves to read," or whoever. You know what I'm saying?
There's power in that for people that are interested in reading.
That's what I'm
saying.
They
can read the books that the people they look up to. You know what I'm saying? Read while they were young or whatever. I read a lot of Judy Blume and shit like that.
His book list every year. There's power in that. That people say, "Oh, what have you been reading?" And you get to look and see. Pick, yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
I think everything he's been saying on this podcast, to be fair, has been a really good idea.
We need to get into Atlanta to end this thing, though. Like I am curious because people say, and I'm curious about what you guys have to think about this too. Atlanta has become the capital of hip hop. When did that happen? How did that happen? Was he a part of that happening? Was he there before or after that happened?
Oh, definitely.
He was definitely part of it from scratch. So, Greg, we were just saying. So, to wrap it up, let's talk a little bit about Atlanta. How Atlanta has become such the hub for hip hop. Also you got the West Coast, you got New York, but like Atlanta's really been on fire. And talk about how that happened, because I know you were intricately involved in making that happen.
Man, Atlanta is a special place. It's a special place, and we look at it for hip hop, but we forget about Millie Jackson and people like Curtis Mayfield, James Brown from right down the street in Augusta. There's so many people here from music. Bohannon, the legendary Bohannon lived here is from Atlanta. So like it's so much that's a part of the foundation, but for most of us in hip hop, we don't know the history. we can't go. We can't go. You got kids right now who don't know who Outkast is.
Yes, real.
That's true.
You got kids right now who will tell you, I like JID better than Jay-Z. I don't even know Jay-Z.
Like that.
Like,
yeah.
You got kids who will tell, no, they ain't gonna say like that. Don't know him. Don't know who you talking about. So it's like we don't really know the history of the city. Like this city, the fabric of this city is so crazy. It's like Houston. When you look at Houston, people might look at Houston as it's not growing, but when you look at the new underground artists in Houston that's going crazy, it's still the same blueprint. It's just in this day and time. You know what I'm saying? It's in the streaming world. It's in the social media content. It's in that space. So, and rap has diversified so much that we don't pay attention. Like the little girl Bonnie B from Atlanta, from Thomasville, she's huge. She huge, super big. She can say she's doing a show tomorrow, and it's gonna be sold out. It's 4:00 on Friday. She can say I'm doing a show tomorrow, center stage. It's gonna be sold out completely.
Now, why do you think Atlanta has that type of power to grow artists like this?
And how did Atlanta get that power?
It's a lot of cities like that. New Orleans like that. Memphis is like that. Houston is like that. Dallas was on track, and now it's getting back on track. But it's a lot of cities like LA is like that. You don't think Kendrick or even one of the underground artists from LA can say, "Hey, look, I'm doing a show tomorrow, 5,000 people." They're gonna show up. I think what it is we like to argue and debate so much, we don't pay attention to the facts. Because the gem in this whole thing that people don't understand is perception is reality. I don't care how stupid you are. Perception is your reality.
Absolutely.
What you think, it ain't about right and wrong. It's what you think and how you think. Because most of us can't be told shit. Especially the ones who on some of these platforms talking who don't know what they're talking about. And they just talking because they got a lot of followers and a lot of people listening to them. But most of them don't know what they're talking about. And it's sad. But for Atlanta, you'd have to really live here to understand, like, in one day, I can go from a listening party with Bun B and Corey Moe around the corner, less than 5 minutes away, and go in the studio with Mike Will. In less than 3 minutes away, go in the studio with Big Boy. In less than 30 seconds away, go in the studio with T.I. You know what I'm saying? And on and on and on. Every day.
Yeah.
Like, this stuff going on every day. Every day. So
he's not lying.
Atlanta, as far as the music is concerned, it's never gonna fall off. Like people don't even know what's the kid name from I just talked to. What's his name? He went to. I did the thing with Dwight Howard at Southwest Atlanta Christian Academy. I didn't even know the dude. He graduated like 2009. He wrote 4 or 5 of Beyonce's biggest songs. He signed to Rock Nation. What's his name? Damn, it's on the tip of my tongue. He wrote Folded for Kalani. Like, you got people like most people watching your podcast don't know this. Kane Brown is signed to Polo the Don.
Is he?
Yes. Polo put him out independent. He was going to take him somewhere else, but he couldn't take him because he already had a first right deal with L.A. Reid at Epic. Kane Brown is signed to Polo the Don.
I had no idea.
Blanco Brown with the biggest country and western line dance. Not no boots on the ground, country and western. The Get Up. It's from Bankhead Courts.
Wow. Well, I mean, even with back in the day with Cool Asa writing a song, Grammy-nominated song for Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because
there's a lot of places.
Because Cool Ace and Carlos Glover was real tight. Carlos Glover was Curtis Mayfield's right-hand man. Carlos Glover is the same guy that signed Lil Jon to Ichiban. If it wasn't for Too Short, Lil Jon would have still been stuck in the deal. Too Short bought him out of the deal. Jeff Sledge. Too Short took Lil Jon to Jive, and Jive said they didn't get it.
And we passed.
They passed on it.
Short went Lil Jon to Jive and said, "I want him to produce my whole album," and we said no.
Jive said no.
We said no because John was new. We didn't know. Short knew.
No,
Wow.
Short wanted to. If you go back and they did a compilation, they had the "Couldn't Be a Better Player" song on it.
Yep.
That was supposed to be the catalyst to make Jive want to do the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos owned Lil Jon's name and everything when he put out the "Who You With Get Crunk" and "I Like Them Girls."
Mm-hmm.
Too Short bought him out of the deal in hopes of taking him to Jive.
Yeah.
Jive said no, but what happened in the midst of that was "Blow the Whistle."
Yeah.
Which is probably after being in music 20 years, Lil Jon gives you your biggest record. So God don't make no mistakes.
Yeah. 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 They say we said no, and then I think first record they did was dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Take that.
We did, and then it kept going, and they said then they got to Blow the Whistle, and that record still plays today like it's
That
new.
That record feels today like it felt then.
Exactly.
And if it played in the club tonight, it'll turn. If you play that at Brandy and Monica, it's gonna turn up.
It's over.
Hey, bro, I just made
you
the
got
picture
one
for
too,
you.
though, Bun, and National Players Anthem, same thing.
Yeah,
you play that tonight, that's gonna go crazy too.
This is fair.
Yep.
That's fair. I remember when we made that record. I remember Everlast called me. Everlast is a good friend of mine. Everlast was like, you know, you got another one now, because he was like, Big Pimp is gonna play forever. Like, there's no way around it. That record's gonna play forever. But that's not your record. But you're on it. Say, but now you got one.
Mm-hmm.
Cause Jump Around gonna play forever. We'll all be gone.
Ever.
We'll all be gone and Jump Around and still be playing at football and basketball games and shit. So
yes, it will.
Yep.
Greg, man, we don't want to keep you too long. We know your presence is needed. You've been sharing the screen here, and you've been, promoting the show on the air there, and getting ready to talk to an arena full of people and guide them through this amazing concert. But we are so glad and thankful that you took the time out of your literally. They're watching and listening to your busy schedule to give us some real wisdom, bro. Some real wisdom.
Honor.
If they call me and say, "Bun B needs your left arm, but you still gonna live, you're gonna be all right," hey, like, cut it off.
So far, so good. So
yeah, don't lose any arms yet.
You're good for a while.
Hey, we'll end it like this. Technology might have changed how we find music, but you will never be able to replace people like Greg who make it matter.
Absolutely.
The whole technology space, you got to understand everything that we do is about people. It all goes back to people. Technology is just only a tool. You just got to know how to use technology. Not going to do the work for you.
Yep. You're right.
It's a great point.
You got to do the work. You got to understand how to use technology to benefit you and your and what your goal is. How can I use this? How can I use this to make my situation better? Because I'm still tripping on these cars driving around by themselves. Like
I'm scared of them. I'm scared of them Waymos, Greg. I'm scared of them.
I'm like, I drive up beside. I'm gonna post a video today too. The other night when I left the One Music Fest going to Luda's birthday, I'm coming down 14th Street by Patchwork Bun, and that little block where the look like a lighting supply company is by the church, by the mosque. On that whole block was them little carts that they put the food in to deliver.
I watched it all week in Atlanta. I watched the little thing. I mean, a bunch of them.
Yeah,
everywhere. I seen one had Uber on it, one had DoorDash or something on it. It was crazy.
I got them on. I got a video of it from last Saturday. I'm like this is nuts. But it's like you got to understand, like that's the whole new wave of what's going on in our country. Like when we went from civil rights and back in the 1600s, Bacon's Rebellion, to slavery, to civil rights, to schools getting integrated, and all. It's the new wave. The stock market and all this stuff is this is the new whole transition of everything that's going on. This that book, Bun. Your boy did all these illustrations, and I actually have the original pictures.
Wow.
Yeah, you gotta
do something with that, man. You gotta do something with that. That's incredible. Wow.
But hopefully we'll get a chance to do this again. Y'all let me know.
Yes.
Queen, I see you in the background. Queen, what's up, girl? Queen, I need them Trailburger hats.
That's funny. That's
Go with my
funny.
prime time glasses.
That's
She
funny.
said she got you, but she don't work at Trill Burgers.
But
she got you.
That's a fair
She's
answer.
she's the CFO of Freeman Incorporated.
Well, you better know it.
All things Freeman.
That's dope, man. Thank you, Greg. Really appreciate it,
Thank
man.
you,
Really
Greg.
do, man.
Thank
Appreciate
you to all
y'all.
our listeners. We got to learn a lesson from him. Thank you to the listeners. Be
Thomas
involved.
Thank you.
Jeffrey
Thank you.
Sledge,
There
Bun
we go.
Thank
B,
you, brother.
Trill OG. November 7th, the new album on the way too trill with Corey Mo. Y'all stream that thing and turn it up.
Let's go.
MC for life.
See?
Mama
Look at
West
it.
for life.
Promoting my album more than me on my podcast.
I love it. I love
That's
it.
the beauty of Greg Street.
That is the
Yeah,
beauty.
man.
Until next week, leave us a comment on Instagram at Unglossy Pod or YouTube at Merrick Studios. Tell your friends about the show. I'm Tom Frank.
I'm Jeffrey Sledge.
And I'm Bun B.
Unglossy is produced and distributed by Merrick Studios.